So, how do you go about, like, you know how you have to submit 2 pages of notes? Do you just, like, bullet point your stuff, or how do you guys do that?
I don't know. I've done it a few different ways. Like I've done paragraphs for like every chapter.
Uh-huh.
But with this one, it's so big that I think I just might write like a summary real fast. I don't know.
Oh. No, I mean, like, when you summarize, like, the group, like, when we do this, and you have to write the 2 pages of
Oh,
notes.
Well, I'll just write paragraphs.
Oh. Like,
yeah.
answering the question.
But I guess you can do bullet points if you want.
Yeah. I don't know how she grades it, but
Yeah. Okay. Like, okay. I'll just wing it.
sorry.
No, you're good. She's,
Whatever.
yeah.
I just put an essay. Like I just wrote an essay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What was that noise?
Okay.
Is that
Was it me?
I don't know. I don't know what it was. Okay. Cool.
Opening. Whatever it is.
All right. So
Are we on live right now?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, we are live.
All right.
Question number 1. Should we just go through the questions like we always do then?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Okay.
Well, what did you think of the book? Like, how did you guys like it, first of all?
I had a hard time
It was
with this one.
interesting.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think I just had a hard time with the writing style.
Yeah.
And so it would like take me forever to finish one page because I had to think about it. And then after like 2 pages, I had to think about what just happened.
I know. I was totally rushing to get it
Real?
done.
Mm-hmm. No, but it was a good book. After I
like the
figured out what
story.
it was about.
Yeah. I really liked it, actually. I liked the heroine in it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
oh my gosh. Sorry. People are upstairs.
Oh.
I don't know. I thought she was really strong and independent in her own way. I really liked that about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So. Okay.
Yeah, she was willing to just go and do it. She didn't really care what other people thought about her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did not. Which I like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's inspirational.
Okay, so the first question is, why did Hurston choose to incorporate folklore into her story? You know, like, what kind of folklore? Like, I didn't feel like there was hardly any.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, I guess there's like the pre-reading assignment, but
Yeah.
I didn't really get it from there either.
I didn't understand anything. The pre-reading assignment. I tried to read, but it was so hard, and it's
Yeah.
hard to understand before you read the book. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what's going on.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like, I don't know if it's folklore, but like their cultures definitely has changed. Like, obviously this is before integration and before like, I don't know, racism was even like dealt with, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So like that
Probably.
culture of just like people thinking they're better than other people, like that's kind of folklore, but it's true. Like I don't want to call it that because I feel like, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Not sure.
Hmm.
So is it supposed does it have to do with race only or?
No, I'm like
I don't know.
I'm going through the pre-reading assignment again, and it's talking about how the author is like really into folklore in her stories.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
like
Yeah, I don't.
interest in myth. don't know. This thing is long. I remember reading it before, but I don't remember how it has to do with it. That shows you how well I read this.
I know. I don't know. Let's just skip that one and move on, and maybe we'll
Okay.
like find the answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So the next question is, how does African American tradition function in Their Eyes Were Watching God?
Well, I'm thinking like it's more about especially the difference between the men and women, like the treatment.
Yeah.
It's more like the woman has to follow everything that the husband does, and she has to stay in the house and cook meals and take care of like like the home, and the husband works outdoors.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's also just like on the culture of the time too. Is the
During
difference
slavery.
between is the time between like the difference between men and women during that time was like the same in white culture and in African American culture. And then also just like the separation between white people and black people as well. So it's a sign of the times.
Yeah, for real. Especially like when she was with Tea Cake and he beat her just because he wanted to show other people who's boss, not even like her.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really interesting. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this was written in like the 1930s, but that was like so shocking for me. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And all of her husbands were kind of abusive.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah. But she still, like, even after Tea Cake, like, hit her, like, she was, like, fine with that.
Yeah, which was kind of weird.
Yeah.
But
is there a specific, like, African American tradition that was talked about? Or, like, or is it just, like, the signs of the times?
I feel like a lot of the dancing and singing, like the guitar that he had, and like the dances that they would do while they're in
the store.
What's it called? The Glee. Yeah, or the store. Yeah, or like just even Southern tradition where they just like sit out on the porch and talk and like whatever.
Yeah. And when they did the funeral for the mule or something.
Yeah, yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is Aloha here? Oh.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was reading on the pre-reading assignment again.
Oh.
But yeah. I think here it talks about the Egyptian tale of like Isis and Osiris. And I guess that Jenny and Tea Cake were also like kind of representative of those two people, like symbolic of them and their story. But
do
you remember?
What's the story again? Yeah,
Isis and Osiris. I don't remember exactly how it goes. But Osiris is like the god of the river, the Nile River in Egyptian culture.
Oh yeah, because she kept saying at the end of the book, I can't find my book. Oh, here it is. She kept saying, like he is. I highlighted it. He's like the son of the son of the evening sun had to die for loving her. And then like I don't know. What else? And then like she could kind of be represented as Jesus Christ, like after she gets arrested. So she goes into jail for 3 hours and then she comes back. And yeah, and then she does her trial and pretty much, luckily she's not guilty, but that's another metaphor there.
Yeah.
But yeah. That could be something. So
I guess, like, just going back to question 1, like, why did Hurston include folklore in her story? Kind of ties in with number 2. It's just, like, to make, I guess, have a deeper meaning and to, I don't know, really reach the audience, like, whoever she was trying to gear it towards, that they would understand that this was, like, a folklore and they would understand the deeper meaning between, like, the parallels between the 2 stories.
yeah.
I guess.
And like, I can't remember. Now I'm like, there's some point where the grandma says, hold on, this can't be this early. Yeah, the grandma's talking about Black people, and she says, or African Americans, and she says they are just a branch without. Yeah, it says us colored folks is branches without roots. It's on page 50, and that's kind of, I think, why she wanted to do folklore from African American culture, because it's so like they were taken from their culture and completely like supplanted. So from that, they've grown like this whole new culture, but it's kind of like, what are our identities now? Like, because we're not Africans, we're not Americans, we're some kind of like,
It's like, what do we link ourselves, what do they link themselves back to in the end?
Yeah.
It's like they're without roots, but then how do they go about growing new roots or like finding their old ones? And,
It's kind of different for her because she's mixed race, right? Half white and half black.
Yeah. So even then, I feel like her roots are even more like, it's harder to find her like place.
Yeah.
Sorry. What do you think are the audience? That doesn't make sense. What do you think are the audience and purpose of their eyes were watching God? So like, who is she gearing it towards?
I don't think it's for kids.
Yeah.
Probably not.
I guess adults, young adults.
Yeah.
I think for...
I'll go.
I don't know. You think? Just because a lot of her stories, I feel like they aren't against men, but like men definitely symbolize something like taking away freedom or like being held captive. And then once she gets away from them, at least from her first 2 husbands, that's when she gets away and she's like independent and happy. You know?
Yeah, it's like the men are like suppressing her, and then she becomes free after she's like rid of them, whether it be from like leaving them or from like they're dying.
Yeah.
Like when her second husband dies, like because she loved him in the beginning enough to leave her first husband. Not that she loved her first husband very much, but like when he died, she was happy he was dead.
I know.
Yeah.
I feel for her. And that's why I like her so much, is because she really does like love everybody, but like that doesn't mean she was happy with everybody, you know.
Yeah. It's like when, like, why, if she left her first husband, why didn't she leave her second husband?
Yeah.
Because like at
I
the
know.
end, when she goes back in her room,
Mm.
she feels like she's at peace. Like she's free from. Like she's happy she had experienced those things, but she's now at peace. She feel
Yeah.
like she had a good life, or I don't know.
Yeah. She's happy she's done.
It looks like she's ready to die.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's,
yeah.
she's ready to accept everything that happened.
Yeah. How long do you think she was with Tea Cake for?
A couple years, maybe. Maybe.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But she's
I
been
never
with Joey longer. Like.
Yeah. I don't think she was with Tea Cake very long because he died pretty quickly. But
Yeah.
they were together maybe for like a year, maybe 2.
Yeah.
If it was only a couple months, then that sucks.
Yeah.
It's
Especially
just a
since
couple
she was
months.
the one that she loved the most and who loved her the most, even though like the relationship was flawed.
She finally found true love with him.
Yeah. I like how in the story it shows that even true love isn't perfect, because even though like her true love was Tea Cake, like they still had their issues.
Yeah, jealousy and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or
And
even like how men treated women back then, even that still played a role in their relationship, even though they were like in love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe like him trying to come after her with his like gun that was unloaded is like a symbol of jealousy, because when you're jealous of somebody for no reason, right?
Mhm.
Like it's like shooting at somebody without a bullet in the gun. Like you're just hurting them, you know? Like you would point a gun at me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's like, what's the point? Like,
Yeah.
you have what you need, but you're not like making as much use of it as you could be, you know?
Yeah.
So for the audience, I think it's just like young adult and adults, like about I think from both white and like African American people, like showing them the perspective of what it would be like, and for Jenny and her story, seeing her perspective of experiencing like dealing with race and then dealing with like love, but also like hurt.
I never had it before.
You never had it?
No.
Well, me and Jess have these popsicles and we don't like them because they taste like guava, and I don't really like guava, so
Okay.
yeah.
Sweet. Thank you.
Lucky you get guava.
I know. Let's see. Okay. What societal attitudes, values, or ideals are conveyed and challenged in this book? Are you there?
I think like one of them could be like silence versus like speaking out, because there's a lot of times in the book where Jenny could speak out, but she just chooses not to. And then when she finally does, like it's not an immediate reward, because she does like get retaliate, like her husband retaliates on her for finally speaking out. But it's just like, how do you choose between like, do you speak out, do you keep it in, like when is it the best time to like defend what you have to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, she could have communicated more, maybe.
At the same time, is that allowed in their culture at that time to communicate the feelings that they are feeling, or no matter what, would she like have been beat by her husband for what she had to say?
Yeah. Like Joey beat her all the time just because she would like try to be a part of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And when she tries to help the woman, wait, which part was it again? Like all the men in the store, they told like the husband, oh, that he should beat his wife.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot her name.
Yeah, it's like a normal thing for them. So
Yeah. And Joey silences her. Like,
yeah, like silence is safe, but it's not always good. You know.
Yeah.
yeah. There's a lot of injustice there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I thought it was interesting how her grandma wanted her to have like this big grand like life, like sitting on the porch, like whatever, like marrying this guy that was gonna take care of her, and she didn't want that. Like she never did, and so she was never happy
Mhm.
until she was actually like working by her husband, like as probably the poorest of all three husbands.
Yeah. As his like as close to an equal to him as like she's ever been before. That's when she was happiest, when they were both like in the dirt just working and
Yeah.
not worrying
Mhm.
about, oh, this is your role as a woman and this is my role as a man, and we need to put up like, what do you call it, impressions on people, like how they should see us, but forgetting all of that and just being together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even though Joey was spoiling her with his money and positions, it never like brought her comfort.
Mm-hmm.
She needed him to be there. She didn't need his money or
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 Like money can't buy love or happiness, no matter what you do.
yes.
The ultimate rule. Yes.
Mm-hmm. You can't buy it for yourself, and you can't buy it for your loved one.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Okay, so in what ways does she make African American tradition relevant for contemporary readers? Even though it was written in 1937, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was written at that time period, but to make it relevant for people at that time, probably just relating, like African American tradition to what was going on at the time, or like informing them of what was happening like prior to that with like men and women and their rights and stuff like that.
And even though slavery is like abolished, we still have this issue today, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
We still have racism, we still have injustice between men and women, and things like that.
Yeah. Or taking advantage of each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, or like even
Mhm.
just empowering thought that like when her second husband dies and she has like that whole like couple months where she's just free and independent and super like loving it.
Uh-huh.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's talking about like how, I don't know, like the heaviness of the topic, like dealing with gender and with roles and stuff like that, but also like empowering women at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Telling them like, you don't have to put up with this, or you don't always need a husband to be happy.
Dude, did you see my fly trap?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's working.
Yeah.
No, that's not what I'm doing.
Anyway. Okay. How does race affect relationships of characters in the novel? Gender, class, give specific examples, including page number.
Well, I don't have my book on me right now, so page numbers. Let me pull up my summary.
Let's see.
I was thinking when Mrs. Turner, she tried uh, to convince Janie to marry her brother because she thought like she's racist. She doesn't like black people,
Mm-hmm.
and so.
But she was black, even though.
Yeah, she was.
Like,
She was black,
and her brother was black. I mean, but he was like lighter, but he was still black.
I thought he was fair skinned.
Yeah.
Well, she was thinking that what's his name? TK is like too dark.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she wanted Janie to marry her brother.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Or even like the grandma.
Yeah.
The grandma wanted her to get married to someone of like wealth and power and someone not dark. Was Logan her first husband? Was her first husband African American? I don't remember.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
No, so that's more to do with like class
Yeah.
than gender. But like the grandma, like basically the grandma's telling her to sell her, like, well, I guess not sell her happiness, because she's like, you can love him eventually, but to like give up her life for this rich guy who she didn't love, just so like she could live in comfort, which always doesn't always equate to being happy.
And also the age differences, like between her and her spouses. Like the first one, I don't really know. It felt like he was older than her, and so was the second one. And then she went with a way younger man, which is so scandalous. Like, oh my gosh. And so, like, I mean, 12 years, that's a long time, I think. But like when she's telling off her second husband, Joey, he's like, I ain't no young gal no more, but then I ain't no old woman either. Like, he's just in between. And I think like when she runs off with a younger guy, that really like sticks it to everybody else, because she's like, I don't care. Like,
Yeah, because
no, just homework. So anyway.
Yeah. And T-Cake was younger as well, but everyone's like, oh, your husband, like in the beginning, everyone's like, oh, your husband ran off to be with another woman, but that's not.
Yeah. I know, and the whole, like, she has to be in mourning for this amount of time, like, she can't wear color. It's just kind of ridiculous. So I like that she sticks it to him. It's like, I don't care.
Yeah, and she wanted to bust out of that mourning period as soon as it happened. Like, she's like, I don't
not
need to
for very long.
Put on the appearance. But I think it's funny that in the beginning, like, her grandma is telling her, you need to marry this wealthy guy because of his class and status and the comfort he provides, because that'll make you happy. But in the end, when she's with T-Cake, like, they have none of that. They're, like, working in the Everglades together.
She's still happy.
Yeah, in the farm, and that's the happiest she's been.
Yeah. And she's with her community. Like, she's not put up on a hill somewhere. Like, she's with the people she loves.
Yeah, it's like class isn't what makes you happy, and I think that was evident during her second marriage too, when her husband wanted to make her all above everyone else, and you can't hang out with these people. But when she was able to be with people as equals, no matter like if that was like what her station was, that was when she was happiest.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
Another one. Let's see. When do two or more of the above factors come together to influence a way a character is treated or interacts with the world? Again, give specific examples. It's funny because Mr. Starks, or Joey or whatever, her second husband, is black, but he he also like rises in this town of black people really fast.
Mm-hmm.
And even starts to become friends with like white people or whatever, but she still never gets a say. So like that influences like how she is. And I think she even says at one point, like, if you're a woman, you're already below men. And if you're a black woman, you're like below everybody. Like nobody cares about you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can see that in the way she's treated by pretty much everyone. Like,
Yeah.
even, like, the women, the men, her husband, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just,
Or even when he like makes her, like when Jodie has her wear her rag on top of her head.
yeah.
Other people looking at her hair because he gets jealous of that. Like, I think that shows that
Ugh.
more. Not just that she's a woman and a black woman, but she like is pretty, but she's not allowed to like show that because he feels possessive over her because of her like class as a woman for her.
Mhm.
And then his claim that he feels that he has on her. So.
And he doesn't want her to do a speech when he becomes the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like people were waiting for her to talk, but he didn't want her to do it.
Yeah. I think
I
it's
don't know
all
if
about,
because he thinks she's not smart enough to talk, or
yeah.
That made me so sad. Like, I don't know. Just stuff like that. It just makes me sad.
Mm-hmm. And I don't even know if like he like it's. I feel it was mostly just for appearances, not so much that he
mm-hmm.
felt that way necessarily, but he did it to make himself seem strong to other people.
Yeah.
Made it seem like he was the dominant one, not her. So.
Like he's
Yeah.
the one who has the power and
Hmm.
he's superior.
Yeah. Because he doesn't want to be seen as like inferior to a woman, let alone his own wife.
Mhm.
So it's all about like keeping her under so that he can be like on top. So he can be the main dude.
Yeah, he always did that. Like he always like about their age, about like his weight, whatever. Like she always could never do it right, and like
Mhm.
demean her. So,
Mhm.
but yeah. Well, that's the last question, and I think we've been going for 30 minutes. I started the timer a little bit after, and it's at 27 right now.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So I think we're about done. Any last comments, like just so we make sure to like hit the time?
Just wanted to know that the title, "The Eyes Were Watching God," so it was more like the moment when there was a storm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to like figure out what's the relationship with the story, like the title.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't really super get that. I'm not sure. I just barely read it today, like not even an hour before this. So I'm still like processing. But I don't know what that symbolizes. Like, no.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I guess I don't know, because it does make that like the only time where it's really mentioned is like during the storm. So it's like they're watching God, like hoping for him to like save them or like keeping their eyes.
Yeah, that's the
on him
only
and-
hope.
Yeah. Keeping their eyes on him instead of looking at other people's or themselves. I don't know. I'm sure it has some kind of symbolic meaning.
Yeah. Somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
But-
What are you guys gonna write your thesis on?
What do I usually do? Or
No, for this one, because we have to write that analysis paper, what are you guys gonna do your thesis on?
I'm probably gonna do on the injustice between the men and women. Not sure.
No, I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm still trying to, because at first, before I heard tea cakes part of the story, I was like, she used 3 men to get happiness. But in reality, if she would have just been single and independent, she would have gotten it. But now I'm like, oh, but her love and tea cakes love was actually good. I don't
So
know.
you can outrule that.
Yeah. So that kind of ruined my thesis, but it's okay. I think I'm going to do something feminism-esque. So, with identity or something.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like all the books have been about identity.
Yeah. Yeah, that's me too. But I like that. I really liked the book, so we'll see.
I think out of all of them, this was my least favorite.
Really?
Yeah. But maybe I need to just get over it. I think it
What's
was
been
just the
your
right
favorite?
people that Huh?
What's been your favorite so far?
I really liked.
Written in the Sky.
Yeah. That was
Oh, yeah?
my favorite.
That was really good.
Yeah, just because it's short, concise, it was easy to read, and it had like several deep meanings, but it was still simple.
Yeah.
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 Also,
Yeah.
I related because I'm Hawaiian, so
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I think it's cool.
What has been your guys' favorite story so far?
This one.
That
I really
one.
liked
This
it.
one your favorite?
Yeah, me too. This one's my favorite. Well, it's not easy to read, but I like the story and the main
Yeah.
character.
I like the main character. Yeah. Well, cool. I can't wait to see you guys like next week, yeah? Or the next week.
The week after that, because we don't have to read Kotiki till next week.
So we just
Awesome.
do one resume for this one too, right?
Yeah, just one
Yeah.
summary. So I think I'm just gonna write it up like
summary, yeah.
as like
Yeah.
responses to the questions and just like write a paragraph for each one.
Yeah, do that.
Okay. Cool.
Cool.
Well,
all right. See you guys
see you
soon.
Bye.